Hi there, everybody. My name is Joe Volevsky. I'm a Wolf Ridge Naturalist, and I'm out here standing on Wolf Lake in January. Maybe about 14 inches of ice, snow everywhere. It's a glorious day. Right over in that direction, main campus of Wolf Ridge. Marshall Mountain is just right over here, and Lake Superior is off in the distance. What I'd like to do is take you on an adventure today to see lichens all around us. In fact, I was just walking over here looking at the lichens on the rock. They have a little bit of snow caught on them. And today, I'm going to take you on an adventure. We're going to go to a spruce fir forest. Then we're going to go to a sugar maple forest. Eventually, we'll go into a river gorge that feeds right into Lake Superior, and our final destination will be the shore of Lake Superior. And by the end of this video, I suspect that you're going to be looking at lichens differently. That's our goal. We have a good adventure and it's a glorious day. Let's go. So here we are in a spruce fir forest. First of all, we should just make sure that we understand what lichens look like. So you'll see right here on the bark that there's some of these white spots. These are crustose lichens. They sort of look like they're spray painted on. Then you have foliose lichens. Those are these shield-like ones that have little leaves growing out in all directions. One thing to pay attention to is that you can look underneath them if you peel them just a little bit without damaging them, and you'll see it's a different color underneath. And then the third kind are these shrubby-looking ones right here, like little beards coming off of the tree. Those are fruticose. So we have crustose, foliose, and fruticose. Now, as I was walking here, I noticed this stick. And you can see on this stick that there are all three different kinds as well. The crustose, like spray paint, the foliose, like leaves, and the fruticose, like little shrubs. So lichens will grow on trees, and we'll focus on the trees today, but we will also focus on rocks. There's a rock outcrop just behind here. There are different rock outcrops all around. And the lichens that grow on a balsam fir or a white spruce are different than those that will grow on a sugar maple. That's why we're going to head to a sugar maple next. But as I look around here, I can see that they'll grow on different trees in different amounts. In fact, some of the dead trees or the dead branches are the ones that have the most lichens growing on them. It's not that the lichens will kill the tree, or the rock for that matter, but what happens is that they'll take advantage of growing on something that has access to sunlight and to humidity in some degree, whether that be rain or just humid air. Turns out that a dead branch is a really great place to grow. And so as you look around, as I look around, I can see some of the dead branches down below here that tend to have a few more lichens growing on them. So that's our spruce fir forest. Let's go take a look at a sugar maple forest now. Come along. Here we are in a sugar maple forest, and boy, is that a pretty sight out there at Lake Superior. Now, I stopped at this sugar maple because I wanted to show you one of the most common green lichens that's out here. This one right here. It's actually called common green shield. And I suspect if you go out in your yard and find a tree or somewhere in a park near you, you'll find common green shield as well. It grows pretty much throughout North America, and it's pretty simple to be able to tell. It grows in a circular form, is that color green, and it's foliose. If you remember, when we were at our last site, we had the crustose, like spray paint, the foliose, which are leafy like this, and then the fruticose. The fruticose is that shrubby one. Well, as I look around here, I can see other common green shield lichens on some of the other trees. And off in the distance over there, I see one tree that's completely coated in the orange sunburst lichen. I think that's where we're headed next. But you also see that I have some tools here. Whenever I go out, I try to study what it is that I'm looking at. So, for example, I might look at this tree and decide to survey it a little bit. One of the first things I want to do is to measure that tree. So I hold this Biltmore stick out right at about chest level, and I look at it, and this is an 8-inch diameter tree. There we go. And so I would write that down in my notes, 8-inch diameter. Let's see here. Got to get to a new page. There we go. So, sugar maple, 8-inch diameter. And then what I want to do is identify a few of the lichens. Now I've looked at them closely. I know that there's the common green shield, so I'll write that one down already. Common green shield. And I might say that there are just a few on this tree. Then another one that's pretty common right here is this green, or this gray one, I'm sorry, this gray lichen right here. So I might write that one down. Some of the others that are dark black, maybe some of those white crustose ones. I have some really small yellow ones that are down here, which you might not be able to see, but really small yellow crustose lichens, which common gold speck. And on different trees of different sizes, maybe it's facing a different direction, they'll have different species of lichens. And I get to start to notice patterns. You might take some time when we're done with the video to go out and look at your trees, measure them, write a little bit of notes, and see if you can start to notice patterns in the trees around you. But I said we're going to go look at that really, really bright orange one over there. Let's go. Well, here we are to that orange lichen I was talking about, the sunburst lichen. It's growing on this sugar maple, and it certainly is a burst of sunshine right now, isn't it? Well, you might be asking yourself, Joe, how do you know the names of these lichens? I don't memorize all of them. I use a field guide, and my field guide is divided by crustose, foliose, and fruticose. Well, I already know that this one's not crustose. It's not on there like spray paint. It's not fruticose. It's not coming out at me. And so then I would guess that it would be foliose. But it's so small I need to look at it a little bit closer. So I also use a hand lens. Notice I've got this hand lens right here. So I'll just double check here. Let's see here. Oh, yep. I can see that it's leafy structures that are coming out, and the bottom is a little bit different color than the top. Well, if I use this field guide, which I did, then it helps me to identify that this is a sunburst lichen, but it might be different types of sunburst lichens. In that case, I'd have to use chemical tests, which I don't bring out here into the field. But a real lichenologist would take this into a lab, and she would take it with a microscope and some chemicals and identify all the way down to species exactly what this is. Again, I take notes on these in my notebook and try to capture the patterns that I see around here. Our next location is down towards Lake Superior. We're going to go down into a river gorge down there and explore. It's going to be very different than here. Get ready for the adventure. Let's go. Well, I've made it down into the river gorge here. When I'm out looking for lichens, I notice that they tend to grow with a bunch of mosses as well. And that sometimes, depending on which way the cliff or the tree may be facing, I might have different species. For example, the lichens growing right along here might be different than the lichens growing right over there on those rocks, or there, or even around the corner here. And so what I try to do is I try to capture as much information as possible. I find that taking pictures with my camera helps me to really capture the details that I otherwise might not be able to remember. So when you're taking pictures of lichens, like this crustose lichen right here, what I would do is rather than taking a picture way back here, what you should do is put it up nice and close. Notice how my fingers are touching the rock right there. They stabilize the picture. And so then I have it like that. I get it into focus, so I half click it, and then I hold it as still as possible. Click. Now I have the image. When I zoom in on it, I should be able to see some more details. I can take this and put this on various websites to be able to share it with other lichenologists, like iNaturalists. I'll teach you about that later. But as I look all down this river gorge right now, I know that the lichens growing on this rock on the soil around the corner, on the cedar trees back there. It might all be different. Lots of different extreme environments. Well, we're headed for maybe the most extreme environment of all, the Lake Superior shoreline. Let's go. Here we've made it to the Lake Superior shoreline. And this is a really extreme environment. All the rock and the ice, the wave action. It gets really hot out here in the summers, cold in the winters. Though sometimes they're completely covered in water from the waves, other times they may go for days with no water at all. And you can see that there's a lot of species growing right here on this rock. The rock tripe is right there. Hey, remember that orange lichen we saw, the sunburst lichen? Well, this is a different species. This is called elegant sunburst lichen. Some of the oldest lichens live along the shore here. I had mentioned in the last spot that they were able to grow in extreme environments and that this was one of the most extreme. They're sometimes referred to as extremophiles. And so they live in these extreme environments, and they also are able to grow for a very long time. Right over there is probably the oldest lichen we have around here. Come on, let's go look at it. Oh, I suppose I should have told you. This is a 360 video. If you just take and turn your screen around, you should be able to see where I'm at right now. I'm looking at a yellow map lichen right here. This growing on the rock might be hundreds of years old, maybe even thousands of years old. The oldest lichens on the planet are probably yellow map lichen, just like this. There are so many different lichens around here. Now that we've had a chance to explore lichens that are all around us, I encourage you to go back and watch this video a second time and look around next time. I was pointing out and discussing things that were out of view if you didn't use the 360 function. Now you can go back and watch it all over again and see all the different things that I was seeing. Now you can see lichens all around you. Have a good time.